Nice little
Hey,
intro music.
everybody. Welcome to Take Action Tuesday. I am Julie,
And I am Jess.
and we are with Sexually Inclined.
Woohoo!
And this is Take Action Tuesday, where every Tuesday we come to you live with something that you can learn, take action, and get a win for the week. So this week's topic is focusing your Facebook efforts.
Yes, and I don't think there's a single entrepreneur that cannot use this in some way or another, even if you've been in business for a long time, or maybe you just started a new business or a small side hustle last week. Facebook is massive. And when I first started my business, I spent hours going down rabbit holes, um, making content and putting it in places that was not the best. Now that I know better, I do better, but it was not the best use of my time. So we are showing up today to help you with that Facebook focus. Because no matter what you sell, no matter what you do, no matter what your message, your audience and the people that want to hear it are on Facebook. So it's really a platform that most of our businesses use in one way or another. So we're going to show you how to focus your time, whether you have a little or a lot. What should be a priority if you have to make choices, and what should be less of a priority if you really don't have the time or the energy to go there.
Exactly. So just saying hey and welcome to everyone that is here live. So Savita says, hello, my beautiful people. Good morning to Sam, everyone else.
Yep.
Jessica has already dropped this week's resource in the chat. So if you will grab it, you can follow right along with us. All right. Can you still see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Perfect. So just making sure I'm sharing it differently this week so you don't get the double us.
Yeah,
So.
it looks good. Morning, Kelly.
Good morning. All right.
Jimmy,
So
keep going.
yeah, you want
Yeah,
to?
okay. So there's several different types of content, obviously, and it's for you cannot write a post without feeling kind of overwhelmed on Facebook, because it immediately asks you, like, do you want a live video? Do you want a post? Do you want if you're in a group, then you literally have 15 different options for what kind of content you're going to post. But on Facebook, there's pretty much 4 avenues where you're going to deliver that content. So we're not talking so much about content type here as much as we're talking about the different places that you're going to want to put content as someone who is trying to grow visibility, trying to build followers, and trying to get leads for a paid or a free product that you might have. So of course, about your Facebook profile. That's where you share all your personal stuff, depending on how personal you get, personal life, or it's also kind of blended business. You have your Facebook page, which is where the kind of heart center for your business's visibility on Facebook is going to live. You have your Facebook stories, which are the short little videos that run across the top of the news feed. I guess they can also be a still image as well. And then Facebook groups, which is an extremely powerful tool that you should be using if you're not, but we're hoping that you're already using it to build and cultivate a community around your products and services.
Exactly. And when we speak about Facebook groups, that can be your own group, or it could be working in other groups, joining and networking in those, because
Yes.
you have the ability to post and share in other groups.
For sure. And I'm sure everyone, actually, just looking at some of the people who are here, I know that we're kind of all in different levels. And when we started marketing our business on Facebook, and some of you might have started like even as recently as last week or this weekend, it can be so overwhelming when you start to realize, at first you might have just thought, oh, I just have to share myself and my products on my Facebook profile. But then if you're anything like I was when I started my business, and I learned that I needed a like page and that I needed a group, and then maybe I needed a second group, things got really overwhelming fast. And because of that, I actually experienced several phases of burnout. A lot of them, this was 6-7 years ago, but it was coming up with this focus and figuring out how to wield my time for the highest return on time investment that helped me bring myself out of that business burnout. So we're here to make sure that you don't get burned out. So there's always a place you can focus on and kind of back up and reorganize yourself to help you when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly, because there's no you literally could live on Facebook 24 hours a day, and then as an entrepreneur, there's no shortage of things that you need to do during the day. So we're just trying to give you the best bang for your buck on your time of where to be and what to focus on.
Yeah. If while you're sitting here thinking about this and you're going through the PDF, let me know, or let us know kind of in the comments, how much time you think you have a day to just dedicate to your Facebook marketing efforts. And I'm not talking about like how much screen time you have, but like when you look at what your day looks like. So for me, for instance, I have pretty much from 5:30 till the baby gets up, which is usually 7. And then I have from 9 to 12. And then I have from, let's say, 2 to 5. So in those 7 hours, if that's what you have, how much of that time can you actually dedicate to Facebook? And just kind of let us know in that so that we can get a feel for what everyone's time blocks look like.
Yep. Savita, I hope I'm saying that correct, says about an hour. Tony says about 2 hours. And then Sandy, true time is 4 hours a day. And Sandy is on it. So Sandy has been doing this a long time. So we want to really stress that we are trying to meet everyone with where they are. So don't compare yourself to someone that's at step 20. We had a post like that the other day. Sandy's at step 20. Okay. So if you have 30 minutes, we want you to be able to make the most of the 30 minutes that you have. If you have 4 hours, same goes. So don't.
Exactly. And sorry, go ahead.
I just say, don't compare yourself. We are trying to start and build momentum. We had a little live on that just a little while ago. So everybody's got to start somewhere. So we want to meet you where you are.
Exactly.
Take action.
And when we created this resource, we made it for, I had that side hustling working mom in mind. So this is with kind of the assumption that you maybe only have an hour a day or even less than that. So when you see kind of like the way we're breaking down times and stuff, a lot of you are going to have significantly more time. And that's an amazing thing. I'm actually really surprised at the amount of time some of you have. You're looking like I did before I was a mom, and right when I was laid off, and my side hustle was my full hustle. So good.
Yeah. Amber says she has 4 hours a day, but she has to hold herself accountable and not get lost on other tasks. That's a big deal because you can get lost in the scroll and whatever. So we want to make sure that the time that you do have is spent on this task. Block out that time. So Linda says an hour, but not every day. All right. So, all right. And so again, the point of this is just to not burn you out, especially if you're in a starting place or if you've been doing it a long time. Sometimes it's hard to hold yourself to that grind. However, it's harder to get started. Once that momentum gets going, it is easier. A lot of these things are kind of done once. They get easier as you go along. All right. So here's how much time do you have? And then here's the Facebook focus pyramid. And as you see.
Are you waiting on me?
I can do it if you want to do it. Either one.
Okay, so this is, I'll just start. So this is just a visual representation. And again, we are all about teaching you quickly, teaching you with none of the frilly stuff, and letting you get a clear picture of what you can change or tweak in your strategy today that's going to help you take the action, create motivation, and build momentum tomorrow. So this is just a quick representation of if you're starting out, if you only have an hour to spend on your Facebook marketing a day, where you should focus your efforts first, and where your leftover time should go should you have some. And you'll see there that the group is at the bottom. The group, your Facebook group and your community is the holds the highest potential return on investment, time investment for you and your business. The more you can add to your group, the more you can be in there and cultivate those people who often come in as cold leads or cold people who are cold to your message. They don't quite know who you are yet. That group is where you're going to warm them up. It's where you're going to share your personality. It's where you're going to share the things that you need to do to create massive know, like, and trust that is ultimately going to lead them to buy from you down the road.
Exactly. And I want to stress that if you don't already have a group, Facebook is all in on groups, and we would like to see you start one. We will have that in a future Take Action Tuesday, and I believe we're going to just roll right into it next week. If you don't already have one, you probably have learned how important it is to interact in other groups. That's still going to be the case because you are trying to attract people to you. So put yourself out there in other groups where your target market would live, where they would be, if you're skincare, because there's a lot of skincare people on here, mom groups. There's a lot of places skincare people can live, but you're looking for women. So where would the women hang out? All right.
Let me just answer Tony's question real quick. I do not think so, because your personal profile is supposed to be your personal profile. The way Facebook was made way back in, what was it, like 2005 or 2006. Mm-hmm. It is not supposed to be tied to anything else, which is why we definitely say everyone who is, if you're on this training, this Take Action Tuesday, it's probably because you're a small business owner, or you have a side hustle, or you're trying to grow something. Of course, you want a like page, because it's got to, or it's not called a like page really anymore. It's a business page, because you have to have that to connect it to your group. You also have to have that if you ever want to run ads. And another very important thing to know is that you should not ever blatantly advertise on your personal profile. You can get shut down for that. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to post those types of posts, the ones where you're releasing your paid offer or your paid program, or your like anything that is going to be a blatant kind of like business post. You want to post on your page first and then share it to your profile, because of course we don't want anyone that's socially inclined to have to worry about being in Facebook jail, for sure.
For sure. But it does happen. There are things that will land you there. Too many DMs too fast, too many comments too fast, liking too many pages too fast. There's a lot of things. Facebook jail should actually be one of our Take Action Tuesday topics soon. I'll
have to get my orange shirt out.
Yep. And so while we're talking about groups really quick, Kelly says she's so grateful that we encouraged to join join groups. It's a great way to interact with new people. I can't talk. So Kelly participated in our 5X challenge, and that was one of the big things, is like networking. So getting out. So, and that is a part of, you have to put yourself out there to attract people to come into your own group. So you've got to start somewhere. You've got to attract people. So being in other groups is a way to do that. And Paige says she's joined a few groups and comment, but I'm curious how you became actual friends with a particular person when the rules of the group say you cannot friend request people. Yeah, that happens anyway. So, but there will be people, like most of the time the group rules are seriously against DMing people, the hey girl, hey, whatever. So the friend requests, I mean, it can get you reported if you're in a strict group, but people do it all the time. And that's a lot of the time what your downline teaches is to make friend requests every single day. So
yeah, but so also Paige, not necessarily, and sorry for kind of interjecting, but think about it as your interaction in a group is not necessarily to gain more friends as much as followers. So if your Facebook profile, if your personal profile is a representation of what you do, and I strongly suggest making your cover photo and the text that goes with that say, hey, I'm not a normal person. This is not just a picture of my fur baby and my real baby or whatever, but like I am in business and this is what I do. And if you have a call to action on that cover, the goal is to stand out in a group enough, to contribute in a group enough, to have someone want to click on your picture and say, who is this?
no more.
And the key is for them to go to your profile and to know that you have more to offer than just what you said in the group.
Exactly. And profile optimization is a Take Action Tuesday coming up as well, so that it will set up your profile for when you are connecting in groups for them to find out more about you and want to connect. And then that's where the friendship can happen, the conversation can happen. Kelly also says, I've had a few people from various groups send me private messages and it totally opened up new conversations. I think that is great. Again, that's something that downlines teach all the time, is to direct message. You have to be careful because you're breaking most groups' terms. But if it's done in a very natural way that is not offensive to the person, we're all for it, because that's what you're supposed to be doing as group, is making friendships and whatever that will bring them to your profile and learn more about you.
Exactly. And the spirit of that rule, whenever it shows up in groups, is not to DM them your pitch. But like if you legit have something to contribute, like they said something that rang true with you, then that's different than just going and seeing these people and messaging them and saying, hey, I do this, you ought to go sign up here. Like
right.
that's the no.
Right. And especially the DM that is the pat on the back, the attaboy, that something really connected with them, that's how you open up conversations and really make an impact with someone. So, and Tony says she doesn't friend request anyone. She keeps personal and business. Yes, that's a topic that's coming up as well, because we do a hybrid of that, sort of. I wanted mine to be all personal, but it just is not practical. So,
yeah.
So we'll have another Take Action Tuesday on that.
Exactly.
So yes, Savita says just add value. Correct. So that's how you work in groups, is value. You can ask questions. You can give tidbits. Just be active in groups, and people will take note. For sure. So, and yes, Paige said she needed to find new groups. Wow, there are lots and lots of groups out there. So you should be able to come up with a list. Sandy probably can help too.
Yes. Okay. So the group is at the base of this foundation, because that is where the magic happens. And frankly, the money, because that is where you're going to take people who come to you knowing nothing about you and teach them, add value to them, and add so much value that they feel crazy not to buy from you whenever you offer something for sale. And then next up is your profile. And if this order is a little surprising to you, Yeah, it was to me, but your Facebook profile deserves it deserves your attention, especially like the content and kind of what you're putting out there, because of what we mentioned earlier. Whenever you are running your own group and you're interacting in groups, your profile has to say the right things to help you become more than just a person on a newsfeed.
So before, really quick, I'm going to say, Jate says she's overwhelmed with groups, suffering with shiny group syndrome. That is, I just want to say, that's a place where the people that have 2 and 3 and 4 hours can get sidetracked and not. You have to have a perfect blend of connecting, but keeping your money tasks in order. Really trying to be on a mission to make the most of your time. So yes, and not join 900 groups. You really should, find it, whether it be 4 or 5 or how many ever, that you can really be active in and make an impact. That's the thing. Even if it's just one plus yours, that's where you should be. Make an impact.
And Linda says she tends to forget to post on her profile. That is why we're here today, because we do. We forget it. We neglect it because we think, oh, we're entrepreneurs, business page, Facebook group. But that's what this pyramid is all about, to kind of show you the focused efforts for returning your investment in time.
For sure.
So don't forget.
Especially because if you're interacting in the groups, they're coming to your profile to learn more about you. So you need to have some strategic, they can't be straight up business. You can share your business page and whatever, but some strategic posts there that show what you do. Amanda says she actually doesn't get much interaction in her group. We're going to cover that next week in our Take Action Tuesday. I will quickly say that if your group has to be full of your perfect people, and a lot of times groups are built where you invite everyone that knows you to join your group, and that is incorrect, because if they never will buy from you, they will not consume your posts. They won't see it or they won't act on it. The algorithm favors people engaging with your posts. So if you've got a group full of people that don't care, then your posts are not going to be seen by the people that do care. Again, we'll talk about that next week. Sorry.
Yes, Jate, we will talk about how to start a group. So you're kind of looking at what's coming up for Take Action Tuesday. We're going to go to groups, profiles, stories, and pages, and we're going to really help you get those in a place that scream, I am a awesome entrepreneur, and you need my stuff and my services and my advice and my opinion.
Exactly. All right. So profile, you want to have some business posts. You want to post there in a strategic way. And again, we'll cover that because we're going to do a Take Action Tuesday on all 4 of these in the next 4 coming weeks. But in the meantime, before we cover that, just give some thought to how you can start posting a little bit.
Yes.
All right. And moving on to stories.
Yep. Those are just the stories.
Yep, stories. So you're going to you are going to post stories. Sandy has a lot to weigh in on this. So she posts stories, 5 days a week or something like that. And she gets massive engagement or massive eyeballs on that content. So we want you to put this in the mix. But again, we're not saying necessarily length of time, but we've got to get these others in order. There's nothing to say that you can't go do a story this week, but in priority of what's the most effective, stories comes in third.
Exactly. And then probably shocker, your business page is last. Now, please do not think that we are saying neglect your business page. We're simply saying that if you only have 10 minutes to spend on Facebook, you figure out how to only spend 2 minutes on your page, because your group needs a whopping 6 minutes of that 10 minutes, which we've broken down an hour and 2 hours in the following pages, as you guys have probably already seen.
We'll move to it. All right.
Linda, so do your friends see your stories? That's dependent on your profile settings. So I do believe that if you have a public profile, anyone can see your stories.
Exactly. That's correct. And you can change your privacy settings to allow. So, and again, creative ways, your stories are going to be the same type of thing as how you treat your Facebook page. And again, we'll get to that more, where you have to be strategic with those, so that it's creating some curiosity and not just straight up salesy business. That is what you do not want to do on your personal profile, is be straight up promo. That will run your friends away. They will not want to talk to you about what you have to sell.
And it will train people to just do this. Whenever they see a post, they'll just scroll right over it. And if you were here with us for the engagement, and when the engagement Take Action Tuesday, when we were talking about the algorithm, that's where Facebook posts go to die, whenever you train people to just scroll right past your content. So prevent that by doing more attraction type marketing, and less buy from me, buy from me, buy from me.
Exactly. We're definitely preaching attraction marketing and creating your curiosity about what you do, and people wanting to genuinely get to know you. People, here it comes. People buy from people, not necessarily the product. I will say that in every Take Action.
Everyone.
I'm sure.
So, all right.
So Linda asked really quick, when you say profile, is that the personal page connected to your business page? All right. Your profile is your personal page, where it is typically, Facebook wants it to be family, friends, that kind of thing. You really aren't supposed to do business on your profile. Your page, you can, many people have many pages. So I have a Coach Julie page. We have a Socially Inclined page. So we have multiple pages. So you don't have to.
Hetherington page.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So the page would be how I like to treat the page is like a mini website. It is searchable. So it shows up in the search engines. So if you can have it where people, when they find you, they see exactly what you do. So, and we'll optimize that when we get to that week. So we'll talk about that. All right, let's see.
Oh, here's your little breakdown of your checklist for these 4. And it's pretty intuitive, since you saw the direction the arrow was going on the pyramid. But your Facebook group, definitely your most attention. The profile, still a great bit of attention. If you have time, stories and page, as much as you can manage.
Yeah, I just changed the page. So we're not, when I said 1 to 2, that is at a minimum, if you can. You'll start building momentum at that. So anything above that, because they don't take much time to produce a story, for sure.
Nope.
And people consume them back to back to back. Sorry. So the way they're consumed, and they get to see a little glimpse into your life when you do stories. So.
Exactly. And it does take seconds. I mean, you're not, if you're like me, you're not going to love the way every single one of them looks, especially if you're just doing a quick video or doing whatever. But that's where you have to buy into the principle that done is better than perfect, because it is 100%.
And people want to know the real you. So having the real you shine through will help people buy from you. Exactly. No, like, and trust.
We need to frame that. Having the real you shine through. All right. And then I broke it down here. If you only have an hour a day, and let's say that you only have 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening, just a glimpse or an idea. This is so loose and this is so tailorable to you, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how you can spend your time if you only had 30 minutes. And if you had more than 30 minutes, obviously the amount of time that you spent on each thing could go up, and you could add a whole other block of time spent in other groups, which I did not put here. because I was not expecting so many of you to have 3 and 4 hours a day to spend on Facebook. But hopefully someone who's watching this on replay, or someone who's also trying to work a 40-hour-a-week business and only has a very limited amount of time, can get some value out of this as well.
Right. And just find out. So the ones that are further progressed along with this, just take note of what's working and try to do a little more of it. Try to be strategic about where you're placing your time. Again, some of this stuff like that we're going to go over about optimizing your profile and optimizing your page, those are one-time things. So yeah, from the posting schedule, do what's working. And the same, everything's not going to work the same for every single person. That's a fact.
Yes.
So, Crystal
and
says,
Kelly, me too. Time management is, every next phase of your business is going to demand a different you. And 7 years ago, my time management was so poor. And when I look back at how I could possibly be able to spend 8 hours working my business a day and be seeing as little momentum as I was, it was because I had not done the things and learned the things that I needed to get my time management in the place that it needed to be. So glad that you're finding this helpful. And I'm glad that hopefully we are shortening the learning curve for a lot of people. Oh, Crystal, I've already sent the PDF. I'll drop it one more time.
Yeah, that was good. If I do it, it'll show my screen.
That's fine. Everyone is chatting, so I don't want you to have to, which is great. We love that. Yeah, so here's the PDF again, so that you don't have to scroll up and you can just take this with you, read it in the bathtub, whatever it is that you need to do to get the value from it.
Right. And use it as a gauge to modify it to what, to the time that you have. But again, as we get into the next 4 weeks, you'll see where this can be tailored more towards your schedule.
Yes. Next slide.
Hold on.
Julie's going to kick me off.
No, I'm trying to multitask. Oh, it fits too. Good.
Yeah. All right, a little bit of basic math, but this is just kind of to help you kind of figure out if you're like me. I like to know exactly what I need to work on when, and I am a huge proponent of the idea that a task will expand. The amount of time that you spend on a task will expand to fit the amount of time that you give it. So because of that, I do time my stuff. Like I literally will say to myself, I have 30 minutes to spend on this. I'll set a timer and I'll do it. And productivity goes way up when you implement the discipline to do that. So we included this here just so that you can kind of visualize and customize it to exactly the amount of time you have.
Exactly. And again, if you've tried stories in the past and they don't work for you or they're not gaining any traction, put it on the side and for now and do what is getting traction for you. And again, stay tuned for future Take Action Tuesdays and we'll maybe shed some light on how we can get more traction on those. It's definitely a process to get the ball rolling.
Exactly. Nobody became great in 33 minutes. You've got to show up every day and you've got to learn things and you have to implement what you learn. You have to take that action. So I think that's, how are we doing?
We're good. We'll say if anybody has any comments as to if their schedule is wildly different than this. Obviously your 4-hour people would be, somewhat different, but anything that we've left out that would be helpful for everyone else that's on here, would love your insight. And that's what we're trying to bring in our group too, is more camaraderie and helping each other. We're all in different businesses. Even if you're in the same network marketing line, you're still running your business differently. We all have the same goal to, make connections and end up making sales. So.
Exactly. Can I answer Paige's question?
Sure.
Okay. So I just want to say that starting with that, like wondering what the good attraction is, it's totally dependent on where you are. So I would encourage you to not even ask yourself that question, because what you're going to find, it's basically a nice way, a frosting covered way of comparing your chapter 2 or 3 to Julie's chapter 47. So that's completely dependent. Like, I just, for those of you who don't follow my personal page, I just started really committing to doing live video 2 weeks ago, and I chickened out most of last week. So like this week is the week. And if I said to myself, well, if I get anything less than 50 views or 100 views, then I fell short, that would just be doing myself a disservice. So I just want you to kind of like back up and not worry about that. Do your video, put the content out there, and keep showing up. And maybe you only start with your mom and your sister watching your content, because that's what happened with me. And then, if you keep showing up 4 months from now, it will look totally different. A year from now, it will be much, much bigger. But you have to just start where you are and keep going, and don't give up.
You can always delete if you don't love something. Jessica messaged last night. I was not where I could go live with her, and she did the Marketing Monday, and she was like, it wasn't great. And I watched it, and it was great. So perspective, everybody's perspective is different. And it really was great. You should go back and watch it, everyone that's in our group, because it was very good. So, everyone is self-critical. So don't worry. As long as you're providing value, that's all you should worry about. Okay? Don't worry about it.
To answer your question, good attraction is just showing up, Paige. You show up, and if you feel like something didn't go so great, make a note of it, and maybe even do the step of, well, what could I have done differently that I might have been more pleased with? And then make that change the next time. And then just keep doing that. And before you know it, you are a better video producer, you're a better leader, you're better at describing what you do, and everything just seems to get easier when really it's all that work that's building up into a snowball that's going to propel you forward. The good kind of snowball, not the one that crushes you.
Exactly. Oh, and Paige, I think she was asking for a specific metric, and like if 40 views is good, that is all relative to the amount of people that are, like, if you're doing a story and you have 1,000 friends, well, that metric will be different for the person that has 200 friends. So I think just finding where you're getting engagement and not worrying about the number. That's why Facebook is removing the likes on fan pages, because people get hung up on the number, and it's not about the number. If you have a story and you reach one person, only one person, but they become a customer or a client, what is that metric? So it's all relative. So you want to find your perfect, clientele, the people that want to engage with you. So don't get hung up on the number, except for to say that we want to try to get our engagement up. The more that opens up the algorithm for you. So we will give you some tips in future Take Action Tuesdays on engagement. And we've done a past one on engagement and how the algorithm works.
Exactly. And even so, I love that one person, because even if that person doesn't become a client, if that person sees your live video or sees your post and it connects with them, and maybe they do something like share it, or they comment on it, and then all of a sudden their friends are seeing it, and maybe that leads to 4 or 5 people who start kind of watching you. That's the thing. There's a lot of people who just watch on social media and they don't necessarily engage, which doesn't help you any in the algorithm, but you just have to believe in yourself that your voice matters and that what you're trying to do and teach and convey matters, and people will follow you naturally.
Really had a question showing up on your personal or business. I'm answering in the chat, but also both, because your personal can't be straight up business. So you're trying to do both where you can with the limited amount that you have. So you can share your business posts to your personal, some, but both personal and page. And we'll get more into this on future weeks as well.
For sure.
Just wanted to preface. And Janine, I forgot what Janine asked, but I was trying to answer her. We are our worst critics. I can't rewatch any of mine or I'd get deleted.
I can totally relate.
Yeah. So I mean, then sometimes I rewatch and I think, like, especially like one of these Take Action Tuesdays, I was like, dang, we did a great job. I don't love my hair, I don't love whatever, but the content was great. And we felt like we made a difference in somebody. And that's all that really matters. So,
yes. And that's where working on yourself really helps too. I mean, I have come so far in just my self-belief, and this is not bragging. This is literally like the result of knowing that 6 years ago I could not sit right here, not without like shaking and probably like wanting to cry and go hide in a corner. But I mentioned it a little earlier, but like the next step in your business is going to require you to be better. So Janine was the one who said she'd delete everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start working on your mindset. Go ahead and start working on your self-belief. And, you know, maybe work on your knowledge if you feel like you need to be more knowledgeable or have more confidence in what you're trying to convey. Because when you're trying to get to the next step, when you're trying to get to 500 people in your group, or if you're in network marketing and you're trying to get to 4-star diamond, it's going to require a higher version of yourself from where you are now. So go ahead and accept your fate, and start taking the steps that you need to rise to that. Wow, this is turning into like an inspirational thing too.
I know, but so much of the entrepreneurial spirit can be broken by all this negative mindset so like you just have to push forward and do one thing better every single day. So don't let it break you. Keep trying.
Exactly.
So.
And I just want to say real quick, we can keep chatting, but if you are getting value out of this and you have a downline or you have an upline, or you have people, maybe you're not in network marketing and you have people who are in your organization or people around you who you see need help, they already know, like, and trust you. So go ahead and tell them about Take Action Tuesday. You know, share this link, let people come and, you know, get better together and learn these things together, because that's what we're here for, to help you guys get more comfortable in your own skin and in your own business.
For sure. And again, which a lot of the people that are on right now have been on social and very active on social for a long time. If you think back to how it was when you first started, think about how far you've come. So it's really amazing.
For sure. Awesome.
And Sandy wants to know who's here from the Inner Circle, which is her group. So Sandy is with Bellamy. So we're going to have the people weighing in. So
yeah, so just like next week when it gets Take Action Tuesday, we have the link. If you go to our group, Get Socially Inclined, in the units, the link is there. And we also send the email out to all of our subscribers. So you can just, like, it can literally be copy and paste that link and tell your downline to come join us for the training. Or if they want to buy the replays, then you know where to find the Take Action 2021 as well. For those who can't show up live with us, we totally understand that.
Exactly. So we're committed to showing up, and it's when we can deliver our best self. So, and our best training.
Yeah, perfect.
So awesome. Yes, Kelly says, thank you for the amazing trainings. You are welcome. So we are pushing ourselves to take action, and we want you to as well. Get out of your comfort zone. Jessica's got a heart.
This is for Sandy. Well, it's for everybody. But yeah. But Sandy, oh my gosh, she pumped me up on Marco Polo last night because I was really trying to get out of my scheduled live video on my personal profile. So thank you.
Exactly. So, no one's perfect. Even if you look at whatever you're in, if you look, everyone has someone that's, steps ahead of them. They're really in the same place, actually, mindset wise and whatever. They have the same insecurities. Yes, they may, look better on video or whatever at the time, but they started in the same place. So you can get there one day at a time. Take action.
For sure.
All right. Well, thank y'all. So the chat was awesome on this one. I kept recording because I feel, that the chat part gave so much to this. So if you have the recordings, or if you know of someone, they'll get the whole thing. So anyway, thank y'all again for joining us. If you don't have anything else, I'm for sure going to stop the recording. So thanks again for joining.